education, leadership, and beyond, surviving and thriving. My name is Andrew Murata, host of the show, and good morning to everyone. Thanks for tuning in live here on Facebook. Proud member of the Education Podcast Network, Voice Ed Radio Canada, wherever you are taking in your podcast. Good morning. Grab your coffee and buckle up. I got one of my guys here this morning. I got one of my best friends, someone I admire, someone I love, and love his family. Kevin Spainhour coming to us from Winston Salem, North Carolina, King, North Carolina. I've known Kevin a long time. College roommates, teammates, and school leaders here now together. So honored to be with Kevin. But let's hear from IXL first. It's summertime. You're reviewing data. You're looking at things from your last school year. IXL is a great tool. Here we go.
I'd like to thank IXL for sponsoring today's podcast. Over 1 million teachers use IXL in their classroom every day. IXL is the most widely used online learning and teaching platform K through 12. It empowers schools with complete curriculum, thousands of instructional resources, robust reporting, assessment data, and more. It saves teachers a lot of valuable time with ready-made plans aligned to the standards and the textbooks. Built-in engagement tools like custom competitions make learning fun for students. And IXL's diagnostic is research proven to be a strong predictor of performance on standardized assessments. And the best part, everything I just mentioned is all integrated into one platform so you can simplify your EdTech tools. Visit IXL.com to lead your students towards data-driven excellence today. The link is in the show notes. And again, appreciate IXL sponsoring today's podcast.
All right, friends, if you are watching live, jump in and say hello. Maybe you're upstate in the Finger Lakes area like Jeff Evner, or maybe you're down in North Carolina. Maybe you're out on the West Coast. Wherever you are, say hello this morning and appreciate you jumping in on the podcast. So the opening concept is paradigm shift. I am a freshman. I'm 18 years old and from Staten Island, New York, and I visit Kevin. He kindly invites me to his house. And to say we are in a small town is an understatement. It's a tiny little town, King, North Carolina, a suburb outside of Winston-Salem. I'm from Staten Island, a busy place, a lot of people. And we pull up, and Kevin, again, so gracious and kind to invite me to his house and meet his family. And he's got the Chevy Beretta, Kevin, beautiful car there. Turns the car off and leaves the key in the ignition. So we're getting out of the car. I say, hey, Kevin, you left the key in the ignition. And he looks at me, he says, yeah, I know. And I said, well, why would you do that? And Kevin's a bright guy. Kevin is just a really great man. And he pauses and he looks at me and he says, why wouldn't I? And I'm like, from New York City, like, what? And it hit me that he could do that in his town. He had done that in his town, and that's the lifestyle he had, and that's the type of community that was. And in that moment, 18 years old, I said to myself, I want to live in a place where I could feel like that, and I could do that. And it shifted my whole mindset. It shifted my whole thought process about my future and where I wanted to be. That one little moment and Kevin's one little answer. So think about that in your life, in your journeys of how you respond to people and the things presented. And in that moment, certainly fell in love with the beautiful North Carolina culture and climate, and certainly the Spainhour family. So a shout out to all of the Spainhours, Mr. and Mrs. Spainhour, Ken and Chubby, and Kevin's family, Kevin's children, and beautiful wife, Laura. So enough of me chatting about Kevin. Let's bring him into the show here. Kevin, good morning, my friend.
Good morning, Andrew. Thank you for the opportunity, my friend, on a beautiful North Carolina morning here.
You in the office? You at work?
I did. Well, you know, when you got 4 kids in the house and a brand new puppy, it can be a little risky to roll a live podcast from the house, even though the home office is just off, you know, the main room. I thought I would just come to the real office.
Might have a basketball game breaking out in the living room.
You never know. You never know. That's right. And now, like I said, we got this new puppy that's kind of been the center of our family's attention since April. So, early mornings at the Spainhour house.
You got bumped way down the list now that Ellie's in the mix. She's number one.
I'm seven on the list.
Way down. Down. You're just hoping to stay on the team.
Just, well, they need me. They need me.
Kevin, what do you remember about that story about pulling up to your house? You got this Yankee with you. What do you remember about that?
Yeah, great story. I really forgot about that, but boy, I remember that Chevrolet Beretta. Yeah, absolutely. 1989 white Chevy Beretta. Yeah, that was a magnet. But no, I do remember that. I remember you being your boisterous self, and reacting to that comment, like, what? How are you going to do this? But I'll be honest with you, I still do it to this day. And sometimes my wife doesn't always, it is a different time now. Our little town has grown quite a bit over the last 30 years. But I still find myself just leaving the keys in the ignition. And to this day, fortunately, no issues. So, but no, I think there's something about, like you said, there's something about those moments, whether it's something like that, or I've had, instances in my life where there's been a paradigm shift, right? It's kind of changed how you think about things and your mindset. And so, one of the big things is recognizing those. And that's one of the things I know we've done a lot of work through the years, and we've done a lot of conversations about being a dad and a father, and it's hopefully trying to pull those out for your own children so that they can recognize those moments where there's been a paradigm shift.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Obviously, I'm representing today.
Yes, you are.
Our friends, Dr. Dake, Jeff Evner. Kevin and I, along with Jeff Evner and Dr. Larry Dake, co-wrote this book, Dads, Leaders, and Father Figures.
I think I've got mine right here, Andrew.
Here we go. I like it. Look, he's got the clips in there looking. So, friends, it's on sale. It's on sale July and this summer. Reach out, DM me, $15, and we'll sign it. We'll ship it to you direct. But it's a great thing. Kevin, you had a huge impact on the book, along with Larry and Jeff. What's something that you want to share today? What's an excerpt? What's a story? What was something about the process in writing this? And I know you have some future writings coming. But what was something that stood out to you with this project with you and I?
Well, I mean, before I go into maybe an excerpt that I really enjoy, I first want to say one of the things that stood out to me the most is it's important to have a mentor, to have someone that's kind of pushing you and holding you accountable, and without inflating your ego any more than it already is, Andrew. You were that person for me. And so I think all of us, Larry and Jeff, we recognized this was your, I think your third book at the time when we wrote that together. And it was our first, it was my first book. And so being able to have somebody establish a timeline, establish deadlines, and then you feel like you're being held accountable to someone else, I think that's very important. Just that nugget in and of itself is powerful for leaders and for anyone to really kind of take and moving forward. Being able to have that personal accountability that is, you feel that for someone else. As far as, excerpts of the book, I've talked multiple times about different excerpts, different things that I like about the book. One that kind of aligns with what we're talking about here this morning is my story about Moonlight Graham. If you don't know Moonlight Graham, you need to go dust off Field of Dreams or stream Field of Dreams. But my wife and I, back in it was pre-kids, so it was like 2001, we actually did a cross-country trip and went to the original Field of Dreams, the movie site. It was fantastic. But the excerpt talks about the character Moonlight Graham, how he got one chance to play in the big leagues, and then went back to his small town and became a doctor, and Dr. Graham, and everything like that. There's a powerful scene in that movie where Ray, who's Kevin Costner, played by Kevin Costner, is in the office with Moonlight Graham. And Moonlight Graham says, oftentimes, and I might not get this quote direct, but basically the gist of the quote is, oftentimes we don't recognize the most significant moments in our lives. We think there's going to be other days. And so to me, that speaks to how powerful the moments we have and how important it is for us to live in those moments. So much of what we do in our crazy society right now, our fast-paced, social media driven, keeping up with everyone and trying to put our best foot forward on Instagram and Facebook and everything. So much of what we do is looking at the past or looking at what's next. And unfortunately, I think we need to live in the moment more. Looks like we might have had, did I go out on you?
I hear you. We don't see your beautiful face anymore, but I hear you. And that story resonates. It's in the book. I loved it. Kevin, I think that might have led to, your saying. Your brother gave me keep rolling. Your brother Dan gave me keep rolling. Your slogan, or one of the things you say and live, is enjoy the journey. Did that movie have something with you that helped you develop or helped you think about enjoying the journey?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a big part of that. And I'll give you a quote as well. And that I captured when I was young through athletics. And that was, in the race to be better or best, don't miss the joy of being. And again, that kind of embraces my enjoy the journey motto and mantra. That's something that we've taken with our family as well, to really, my kids have heard me say that so many times. We've got it posted around the house, to be able to really take those moments of life and enjoy those. I'm trying to work on my camera here in the background too, Andrew. I'm not sure exactly.
What happened, man? You were looking good. There you go. You back. You back. Good.
Not sure what happened there.
All good. You're navigating the hurdles, man. Well, also hanging around your house, Kevin, I admire it. I think it's great. There's a lot there. You built a family crest. You have like a thing with your family, and you have your business logo, which is cool, but this is something that you live by with your family. Share a little bit about that journey and that creation and what it stands for you.
Yeah, so we had I don't even really know where the origins came from, to be honest with you, Andrew. It's something that just kind of evolved in our family. We kind of created a bit of a mantra, or a bit of a family motto of friends, leaders, and teammates. And so that kind of morphed into me thinking about how can I build those three elements into a family logo. And it ended up being something that, one Christmas we got a fat head. My kids still have it up in their bonus room upstairs, but we got a fat head sticker of our family crest, our family logo. And it kind of centers around enjoy the journey and friends, teammates, and leaders. And we feel like it's important that they have those kind of grounded foundational concepts, because we want our children not only to be friends and teammates toward one another, but what does it mean to be a friend and teammate to others, and to treat others with that same type of care and respect. Yeah.
And you lived that. You and your wife, Laura, were friends and teammates at college. Laura played basketball. Guys, Kevin's a great guy. Laura Spainhour, Laura Haynes, her jersey is retired at Guilford. If the WNBA is what it was back then, Laura would have been there, outstanding. But the two of you took that and took those friends, teammates, and leaders. She was captain, you were captain, and you grew that in your family. And it's been beautiful to watch, and really just a great journey. So kudos to you. Yeah. Kevin, you're on the show here, and because I love you, but you're on the show for a few things. You got a transition going on at your job. You were a longtime principal in your hometown, and then in the great school district of Winston Salem, West Forsyth. You became an assistant superintendent. But tell me about the transition you got going on now.
So, yeah, I spent 12 years as a high school principal. And, being a high school principal nowadays, It's I've told my principals this past year that it's a lot like being in part of American Ninja Warrior show, and I'll get to that story in just a second. But so I transitioned last summer into a area superintendent here in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County Schools. School district, very large school district. It's the fourth largest school district in North Carolina, 82 schools, K through 12. And
Wow.
so my job as I transitioned out of the principalship, my job really was to become a principal supervisor. So I had 20 schools this past year that I supervised, and K through 12. So stepping in to be a support and a coach to an elementary principal was a little different for me. It was a bit of a learning curve, right? But as I told my principals, and the way I see my job currently, my title is area superintendent. I am now transitioning to where I'm over just all the high schools. So they're going away from like an area model where I had 20 schools in a specific area of the county to now where I have a leveled model. So I'm going to be over 16 high schools in the district, all of the high schools. But I mentioned that about American Ninja Warrior because you've done the job of a principal, and I know we probably have a lot of school leaders that might tune into this. But the reality of what it means to sit in the chair is a lot like being on the starting blocks of the American Ninja Warrior obstacle course, where you're trying to make time. You've got all these demands and expectations, and people just throwing all kinds of obstacles at you that you're trying to overcome. And you're swinging from one rope to another. You're making sure that you don't fall and end up in the pool of water. My role, as I think about what I do as a principal supervisor, is multifaceted in that you've seen American Ninja Warrior. Sometimes I'm the person that's up in the stands holding the sign and just being an encourager, right? That's just really supporting and being a fan of what the principals do each and every day. Other times I'm the person that's running alongside the race with them. That trusted advisor, that coach that's really not running the race, right? Because I'm not in that seat anymore, but I am right there next to them, maybe giving them some encouragement or coaching and supporting them from a closer vantage point. Other times I am that actual coach, that person that is training them, helping them before they even run their race, right? And then the other piece to my job is part of that district, role that I serve, which is, every American Ninja Warrior race is done with a stopwatch. They're on the clock, right? And so part of my role is to make sure that principals are meeting deadlines, that they are keeping time with the right season of the school year. So whether it's observation and feedback, whether it's, instructional academic monitoring and the seasons of the school year, just kind of making sure that those principals are helping them hit the mark, so to speak. And then finally, I see part of my role is to be the official, the referee. You know all about being a referee, right? But the American Ninja Warriors, they always will have a judge or a referee that's down there on the course, making sure the expectations are met. That did the foot hit the water? Because if so, they're disqualified. Are they doing the obstacles and getting through the right way? Are they meeting the expectations of what it means to be a school leader? At the end of the day, that's kind of what my role is currently, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been a real blessing to kind of step away from the school and get a bigger lens, and also to just see how the different principals do their jobs. We've got so many great principals in our district, and there's so many great school leaders across the country. And you know that better than I, because you travel in the country right now and speaking to those folks.
Yeah, that's a great observation there, Kevin. A great comparison, the American Ninja Warrior, including you're being watched by the public. Everyone's watching. Everyone's oohing and eyeing. They're laughing at your mistakes, and they're cheering you on too. So, in that public eye, yeah.
And sometimes it's a lonely job, right? The whole spotlight is on you. You're running that race getting through those obstacles, and it can feel very lonely at times. And so it's good to have those trusted advisors and that support system in place for you as a school leader.
Yeah, like many of our people watching here today, we've become great friends with Jeff and Larry. If you are watching live, please jump in and say hello to Kevin. Throw a question in there. Give him a difficult one. I'm giving him softballs today. Give him a difficult question in there. But great comparison there, Kevin. The other thing you got going on is, in addition to presenting, you're presenting to a number of leadership groups and church groups and school leaders. But you're doing a lot of writing too. I'm looking forward to the kickoff of your newsletter, S.TA.R.T. Yeah. I love it. Tell us about this new project you're working on and, the kickoff of S.TA.R.T.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know where the evolution of this started. Each Sunday this past year, I sent out like a weekly memo to my principals, to my 20 principals. And so they got a message from me that kind of jump-started their week and would give them, here's the deadlines you got to meet, here's the important information. But I'd also like to I tried to throw in some words of encouragement. And so as I thought about how principals go about their work each and every day, how important it is for them to be grounded, how you lead is who you are. Who you are as a leader is who you are as a person. And I very much in my journey have leaned into my faith and leaned into having that foundation to help guide me as a leader. And I know sometimes that line gets blurred in public schools, particularly. We don't want to talk about how faith and religion might impact the job we do because of the whole church and state. So we don't talk about it. And so my weekly memos that was going out this past year didn't have anything to do with any kind of biblical connection. But what I realized is that it's really hard for me to think about the type of leader that I am and the type of leader that I know I see in others without understanding and realizing that they're leaning on a higher power, whatever that is for people. And it looks different for different people, but I know that there is a connection to a higher power. And so what I wanted to do and what I'm going to kick off at the end of July 27th will be the opening edition. I wanted to get something out there in front of our principals before the school year started, because I want the message to be a Sunday, a quick read. It's designed to be read in 2 minutes or less. So it's really a clean, simple format, but it will be S.TA.R.T. It will be one struggle, a relevant, relatable struggle that school leaders have. And then I'm going to provide 2 tactics, 2 strategies, 2 things that can hopefully help a school leader overcome that struggle. Then it's going to be the A of S.TA.R.T. is aligned scripture. So there's going to be a biblical scripture verse in there that is aligned to the struggle. The R is for resources. I'm going to provide 3 different resources, and that might look different week to week. It might be a video, a short article, maybe something from Edutopia, from a school leader, or maybe it's not even from a school leadership publication. Maybe it's something in the leadership corporate world that might be relevant and impactful. It could be a podcast like your own, Andrew. I listen to podcasts quite a bit, and that helps me as a leader evolve and continue to learn. And so those resources will be different available things that are connected and tied to that struggle. And then we will end the newsletter each week with the prayer. And so a very focused, personal example of how you might start your week off with a quick prayer, or something to adjust that to address that struggle that you might be experiencing as a school leader. So it's called S.TA.R.T. Weekly, S.T.A.R.T. Weekly, and it's there to jumpstart your week in less than 2 minutes. the best elevator pitch I got. I might have went over the 3 minutes, but that's what I got.
Nah, it's awesome. Friends, you can sign up. It's K Spainhour, right? Kevin, is
Yes.
the website K Spainhour?
Yeah.
Spelled like the country that we visited together. I've seen the preview of it. Definitely sign up, and Kevin will shoot it out there, and we'll get it in the chat here as well. But it's great, and Kevin's stuff is great. I've seen him present live. I've seen some of his recorded courses. Kevin also has recorded courses in the library at Responsive Learning. It is great stuff. How do you feel about preparing that, Kevin? That's five letters in there, 5 pieces you got to prepare. Do you enjoy the process of preparing this, or is this Sunday morning, Saturday night, you're grinding to put this stuff together? Talk to me about the process of this newsletter.
Yeah, well, you know this, you start seeing things. And so I started with just struggles and things that, were personal to me, things that I know. Also, as I worked with principals this past year and I walk into their office and they vent some of those struggles to me, or they call me or shoot me a text on a Friday afternoon, and they're still struggling with XYZ. And so I just really kind of started writing down things that principals, not just principals, but assistant principals too, right? Because that's part of my job as well. And so I just started with the struggles and got a bank of a list of struggles that I know principals and school leaders face. And then it's really, it's really therapeutic, honestly, Andrew, for me to sit down and then try to connect those things that I feel like can help with those struggles, and then to be able to then pull out scripture, to be able to get into the word and be kind of faith forward on this approach, so that we can help leaders lead from the inside out. And so that process, I've got 6 or 7 already built. I've already kind of built out through the month of August, and I'm into September. But what I have found in this process, the first part in June, I was really working to get the format where I wanted it, to get a template of how I wanted it to look and appear when it shows up in your inbox, or, for folks that are reading it on a mobile device, so that it looks real clean and simple. And it's easy to pull out. You can click on the links that are there, because those resources a lot of times will be links that you can expand your journey as you want to maybe learn more about it. But it's really been therapeutic for me to kind of look through it and to go through. So I'm excited to start this journey. My plan is to have 52 weeks of S.TA.R.T. Weekly sent out once a week.
I love it. I've already subscribed. Larry or Jeff, if you're watching, I'm trying to get the website there, but pull it up. It's K Spainhour, and let's get it in the chat, and people can subscribe. Good for you, Kevin. You've been writing and documenting these things for a while. I'm looking forward to the newsletter, and I'm also looking forward to the next book. I know you have it in you, and Kevin's stuff in here, whether it's his online courses, his writings, is good stuff. So good luck with that, Kevin, and I look forward to helping me learn from it. Kevin, basketball has been part of your life forever. It still is. Your daughters both played. Your sons are both athletes. Your wife, All-American, retired jersey. Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about how hoops is still impacting your life as a leader. But what are some of the lessons that you've taken off the court that you use now as a school leader?
Sure. Well, I was a coach for 13 years, basketball coach for 13 years, and you're 100% right, Andrew. The game of basketball has shaped a lot of how I lead, because the game of basketball has shaped a lot of who I am. And so, just the understanding of what it means to be a part of a team, I think, is the most important thing. To be a part of something bigger than yourself, to put aside selfish ambition or selfish desires. When you're really part of a team, you have to put those aside and you have to work for a greater good. So I've always seen my role, even when I transitioned into the school leadership and school administration, I've seen my role as still putting together a team, still building and connecting people for a greater good and for a common purpose. And in doing that, you can't lead from the front and just try to pull people along with you. As a coach, you can't do that either. When you're coaching a basketball team, as a player, you can't just do that where you're putting yourself out there and you're not doing the work with the people. And so, one of the things that I think is important for school leaders to understand, which is a sport reference and a sport analogy, is to be part of the process with them. To include voices at the table that are helping you make decisions, that you're not making decisions in silos or isolation, but you're including your team in the process to make decisions. Just the same way you sit down as a coach and you think about, the goals for a season or what you're wanting to accomplish after a tough loss in your next practice. You need to include some of those voices at the table. Part of that locker room conversation is bringing in maybe your captains, your leaders, your players, and saying, okay, look, things haven't gone well the last couple days in practice. Why do you think that is? Or what can we do? And so you're including other people's voices into the process. There's so many different nuggets of wisdom that come from sports, life lessons that come from sports. That's why, my wife and I have found that, what we want from our children is those life lessons more than wins and losses. If you chase the end result will end up disappointing you at some point. But if you chase the journey, if you chase the process, then you'll really see the value, and you'll live more a life of significance more than just trying to reach for success. Reach for significance. And I know that's a part of your journey as well.
I love it. I love hearing it, and he's living it. And Kevin's very humble. He references the team. You've been a leader throughout that, though, Kevin, even amongst our friends. And I want to give a shout out to our amazing friend group from Guilford College, our teammate, Chris Casiva, Tim Wooten, and then all of our buddies, right? Our group of friends that we get together still with every year. But our nickname for Kevin with our friends when we were in college, 18, 19, 20 years old, was Shep. The guy was given biblical quotes back then. The guy was a leader amongst us. Shep as in shepherd. Kevin was guiding our group. Kevin was guiding the team. You've always had that calm leadership, that confidence that we were all like, wow, this guy's the man. Talk to me about that leadership, Kevin, that calm, again, confidence. And we didn't have the best of teams. We were losing, but you still led us. You still brought that to us. Talk to me about that. And was that a struggle for you? Was that a challenge for you to rise through those losses and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate that, Andrew, the very kind. Sometimes it's hard for us to accept those kind of compliments, and so I thank you for that. I appreciate that. And, yes, it is. There are struggles, enjoy the journey. Sure. That journey doesn't always mean that it's going to be, a straight road, an easy paved path. Sometimes it's going to be a gravel road. Sometimes there's going to be twists and turns. There's going to be hills and valleys that you have to overcome, and you keep pushing towards where you want to go. And so, yeah, I think, I don't know, the calm kind of approach that you referenced. I mean, again, it's hard for me to separate that kind of presence that you speak of that I have from my faith. I really attribute, and I always have, I'm very grateful for my family and for my parents providing that foundation to me at a young age and getting me around the Lord's work and the church. But it's hard for me to separate that connection from who I am as a leader and who I am and grounded in Jesus Christ, and my connection to my faith. And so I pull the fruits of the Spirit. I pull a lot of my connection to who I am as a leader and how I go about my day to day, trying to be connected to those fruits of the Spirit. And you've mentioned my next writing endeavor, and that's what it's going to be connected about: a fruitful journey, talking about a school leader's approach to their school journey as an administrator, and being able to connect with those fruits of the Spirit. So, for me, that is a big part of it. That doesn't mean that I don't fail. Just like, as you mentioned, there were times in our college athletic seasons that we had plenty of failures, plenty of losses, but there's failures as a school leader too. There's failures sometimes as a dad. There's failures, mistakes that we make. And so it's important that you don't let the failures define you. You let those failures shape you. Yeah.
Well said, Kevin. And I agree with you about your personal life. If you're reading books all over the place, you're bringing that into your personal life. If you're out until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, doing who knows what, you're bringing that to school too. You're bringing your faith. And Kevin's not walking around with a cross at school, but he is being a good person. He is leading with kindness and compassion. And I agree with you, Kevin. Separating your personal life and your professional life, they're mixed, whether you want it to or not. So great points.
Yeah. Who you are, like I said, I've said it many times, who you are is how you lead. And it's so hard to try to compartmentalize and separate those things. And whether you are, a weekly churchgoer or not, if you believe and you've had some foundation, but even if not, those fruits of the Spirit, love, joy, patience, kindness, those things manifest in how you lead and who you are as a person if you're grounded in that. And sometimes we think we're doing a lot of things and maybe we don't always relate it back to the Spirit that's living inside of us. But we all have that Spirit that lives inside of us that sometimes we got to just recognize and have that awareness that we're wanting to lead this certain way. We need to maybe be a little bit more grounded in who we are in our faith, and then that will manifest and that will come out. And you can't hide that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Kevin, you say joy. You have some joy coming up. Your family vacation. They go to Myrtle Beach there. You have 4 grown kids, you have 1 left in high school, but your daughters have graduated. The guy had 3 graduations in 2 weeks, 2 college ones and 1 high school one. You talk about enjoying the journey. Whew. But you get to go on vacation here. You're going to relax. What do you look forward to on vacation? What are you going to do yourself to relax and pull back a little bit? What's some activities you enjoy with your family on vacation?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's just a blessing to be able to have everyone together. As you're learning already, but as you'll continue to learn as your kids age. Right now, my youngest is 17, my oldest is 23, and so got a couple college graduates, as you say, 4 children. Just to have them all under one roof is special. And it's funny how the seasons of life go. I can remember my father talking about that and how special those moments that he would reference, and I would be like, what's the big deal? And now I realize that, right? To be able to have everybody under the one roof, to be able to break bread together, to have dinners together. That's one of our most cherished times, is to sit at the kitchen table or to go out to eat when we're on vacation, to sit and have a really good dinner together, and then to share our lives, to share stories, to laugh together, reminisce a little bit, talk about maybe what's coming up in your life. But so that in and of itself is great. For me, vacation for me, I love the beach, love going out on the sand and listening to the waves in the ocean. Don't necessarily get in the ocean as much as I used to, but being able to sit, I read. You referenced that earlier. I always have a couple books at the beach that I will read. One that usually stays in the house that we stay in that maybe is a nicer book that I don't want to take down and get sandy, maybe a hardback, and then one that is my book, my beach read. So the book that travels with me to the beach. But I love reading. I love connecting with, just the environment and my family, and just having some time away from the stressors of what we do, right? Just to kind of disconnect for a little while.
Well, enjoy that. I've been blessed to spend time at the beach with you, break bread with your family there. And again, the Spainhour family, your brothers, your sister, to adopt me and take me in. Friends, I went to Kevin's house without Kevin. That's how much that family is welcoming in. Your parents, just a beautiful journey. So I am grateful, Kevin, and it's been wonderful to watch the journey you're on with your family. Speaking of breaking bread, I got a brunch here with Team Murata, so we got to get rolling, Kevin. So let's get to rapid fire here, Kevin. These are some quick questions. And before we do that, I've asked all the questions, but is there something that you wanted to share, Kevin, before we go to rapid? Is there something that you wanted to say or share a message out with our listeners and all the educators out there?
No, I think I appreciate the conversation, Andrew, and the opportunity to come on. I'm so, every time I connect with a school leader, I get some type of, it gives back to me, right? Some type of blessing that comes back to me. And so I know you've connected with a lot of leaders. I'm in that process of connecting with folks and the people that I work with, the people that I've done some, like you said, I've done some online courses and webinars and things of that nature. And so I'm really excited for the next season of my journey. And so I'm really looking forward to that. Like I said, I can be reached at kspainhour.com, but really looking forward to the opportunity to meet and grow my own mindset and to grow my journey and to help others. And that's a big part of why this newsletter is here. And you've motivated me to do that. I appreciate the work that you do. Folks like yourself, and there's plenty of others along the way that I look to and say, I can do this. Sometimes you need somebody that gives you that nudge to say, yes, you can do this. And so I'm really looking forward to that and connecting with people and feeling like I'm making an impact in their walk as a school leader. So.
Yeah, Kevin's options for speaking are at his website. I've seen him. I highly recommend him. So if you're looking for a speaker, definitely reach out and connect. Kevin's stuff is top notch. He said it today. He's living it. He's doing it. And sign up for that newsletter, kspainhour.com. I know it's going to be a home run, Kevin. I do want to give a shout out to Hannah Spainhour, also Kevin's oldest daughter. She is in marketing and advertising, and she helps me with a lot of the stuff I'm doing. She creates my digital images and does a lot of work behind the scenes. So if you are somebody, you are a principals organization, you are a small business, educational leader, and you need some graphic design help, you need some marketing help, reach out to Hannah. You could be in touch with her through me or Kevin, and we'll connect you. But she does great work, and I wanted to give that shout out to her. Hannah, thank you for that. She does, again, marketing, design, all that kind of stuff, and really has been a great help to me. So, all right, Kevin, let's roll, my friend. You ready?
Rapid fire. Let's do it, Andrew.
Let's do it, man. You mentioned your favorite relaxation activity already at work. Last movie you watched?
Oh, we just watched Whiplash. It's an older movie about a jazz musician. Whiplash. Good movie. Watch that.
Ice cream flavor you got going on right now?
I like salted caramel. Just yesterday I had a black cherry. Homemade ice cream, black cherry, Front Porch Creamery, Danbury, North Carolina. Excellent place.
Kevin is an ice cream connoisseur.
I am. I love ice cream.
That's facts. That's facts. Your wife does a lot of the cooking. You are definitely down the line there. But what's your dinner go-to? You fixed meals for me. What's your dinner go-to?
I'm either a breakfast for dinner because I make a pretty good omelet,
Ooh.
or I am a grilled cheese and tomato soup for dinner. My dinner skills, and my kids make fun of me quite a bit for that, but I know my limitations. So that's kind of my narrow lane on that, is either breakfast for dinner or a grilled cheese.
Kevin lives on Tobacco Road. He grew up with the ACC. The ACC is fill in the blank.
Oh, different. As soon as we got Syracuse in there, good Lord. No, the ACC is it's tobacco. I grew up on the ACC, where it was 8 schools, 4 of which were all within a 2-hour radius of one another in North Carolina. So, the ACC, to me, what it was and what it is now is my one word would be different.
You enjoying the different? You like having Stanford coming to Raleigh? I mean,
we're going to keep this positive. We're going to make sure that this episode stays in the positive frame. So, you got to change. Everybody's got to change and adjust to those changes. But what's happening in college sports right now, I'm not necessarily a big fan of. So,
yeah. But the ACC had to make those changes to be able to keep up levels.
Absolutely.
There. I mean, we could do a whole show on that. Kevin, North Carolina barbecue. There's a lot there. What's your style, North Carolina barbecue?
Yeah, so if those of you that don't know, there's an Eastern North Carolina style and a Lexington style. Considering that my hometown is around 30 minutes from Lexington, North Carolina, where that style originated, I am more of a Lexington style, which is more of a tomato-based barbecue. And barbecue is a noun, not a verb. For those of you that are listening up north, barbecue is a noun. The Eastern barbecue, I can eat that. I enjoy it from time to time. It's more of a vinegar-based barbecue.
Yeah, this has been broken down for me. I've gotten the lessons. Guys have taught me about sticking a piece up here, holding it on there. Fernando, thanks for that tip. But Kevin, always with the bread, always very neat and clean. You think about barbecue, getting it all over. Kevin was always very neat with there. Yeah. And you liking the slaw on it. You put the slaw on.
I do like the slaw on the barbecue sandwich. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
This guy. Kevin, you are from a small town, but you are a global traveler. You took your family to Europe. You threw those kids in a minivan, threw your clothes in a laundry basket, and drove to New York. You've been to New York a bunch of times. What's it about the big city that draws the Spainhours? You've been to Chicago. You love to travel. Talk to me about going to the big city from small King, North Carolina.
Yeah, so you're right. We did a spontaneous trip when the kids were
Love it.
Yeah, they were like, the oldest was maybe 7 or 8 years old, down to 3 or 4, and we just packed up a Labor Day weekend and came up and visited you in New York. I think for us, as my wife and I shaped our family and family values and those core values that we want from our children, one of those things is perspective. And you don't get perspective staying in the same vicinity of where you grow up. You have to really venture out to put yourself in uncomfortable scenarios and uncomfortable places. Last summer, we went and did a European, Spain, France, and Italy, and threw a little Switzerland in there as well. But to be able to put your children in environments that are culturally rich, that they will gain perspective, that they'll be able to see the bigger world that exists around them, and gain those. And even for me, it helps your mindset as a person, and for us as a family. That was important for us.
Awesome stuff. Those were great. He even took his basketball team up, played in Staten Island, New York. Those were great times. Kevin, this was great. Give us a quote to end the show here.
Yeah, I'll go back to the quote that I mentioned earlier. It's one that I've lived with for a long time, set with me probably. I think I first wrote it down when I was 15 years old, which is, in the race to be better or best, do not miss the joy of being. In the race to be better or best, do not miss the joy of being. And again, I've talked about process versus product. Be consumed with what it means to get better. Don't just have your eye on the prize, and so enjoy your day to day, whether that's with your family, whether that's with your work, your friends. Enjoy being with the people in your life. Enjoy the days. I'm going to enjoy a Saturday today, go back home and enjoy my Saturday. But, sometimes we get caught up in that race.
Yeah. Well, friends, this is Kevin Spainhour. Check out his website, kspainhour.com. I enjoyed being with you today, Kevin. Can't wait to see you again soon. I know we're getting together. Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
The agenda is coming out. The itinerary is coming out soon. I mean, this is hot. This is big.
Yeah, I'm part of that host this year, so I'm going to decide.
You and Chris,
we've already made some preliminary plans. It'll be coming out soon, Andrew. I know how anxious you can be.
I like it. This is year number what? Going away?
Well, we've been going on trips, Andrew, every fall since 1997. So it's a long time. We're old, my friend. We are old.
I heard the draft in Pittsburgh was one of the best ever. Actually.
Yeah, I hate that you missed that one. One of my main claims to fame actually is the fact that I've never missed a friend's reunion. So the Shep, the reunion wouldn't be a reunion if the Shep is not there, right? I'll give you a quick book. You didn't ask me what book I enjoy, but let me give you one quick nugget. If folks need a great leadership book, it's a parable style, quick, short read. It's called The Way of the Shepherd. Kevin Lehman, The Way of the Shepherd. And it does connect a little bit what I've been talking about here today, which is a faith-forward approach to leadership and being able to lead from the inside out. So The Way of the Shepherd, one of my most highlighted, marked up books. I've read it multiple times. Just love that book. Kevin Lehman, Way of the Shepherd.
Well, this is Kevin Spainhour, friends. Again, his writing, his newsletter's coming out this July. S.TA.R.T. You can sign up at kspainhour.com. Check out Kevin's presentations. Also, Google Responsive Learning. Kevin has a bunch of courses in there, great stuff. So you could take those courses as well for your leadership. Kevin, I got to roll, my friend. I appreciate you. Keep surviving and thriving. Stay on the line a second, Kevin. And for everyone watching, please jump in the chat and say hello to Kevin. And Kevin, I appreciate it. You did great, man.
Yeah, thanks. And folks can find me on Twitter at Kevin Spainhour or LinkedIn. I know it's not Twitter anymore, so that's X. You can find me on X or LinkedIn at Kevin Spainhour. Connect. I'd be, looking forward to an opportunity to connect with you, and hopefully we can impact one another. Thank you. Thanks, Andrew, for the chance.
Man, keep surviving and thriving.